Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 24 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Had the Rarest Bloodline over on Anime King 2, and enjoy that guys. And I also posted a brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto failed his genuine test and was given intense training. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy as well guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, as we started off with a flashback, as Naruto went to the Hidden Star Village, where he was supposed to take care of an artifact, something that had dropped from the sky, a meteor, as it granted the user, anyone, an immense boost in their power. But it also brought a sickness after a couple of days. Most people's body could not handle it, as they end up dying after a few days had passed. And the former leader, who was now in a coma because of a different illness, was a friend of Naruto. The man never wanted for his people, but as he went into a coma, the council started to use it again to bolster their shinobis. The few that survived went crazy, but they were still under the control of the village, as they were being used as some animals. But when Naruto got there, it was a massacre. The place had been destroyed. As he went and found out the reason, as it was a man wearing an orange mask. As Naruto wasted no time, as the masked man was completely shocked when he was frozen, as Naruto placed a cosmic grab over him. The man was unable to move, as he didn't even realize the small purple wisp that grabbed onto his body, freezing him in place as Naruto decimated the man. He was about to obliterate the man with a combined Rasengan, but Zetsu had burst from the ground as bones spiked up all at Naruto as Naruto Rasengan destroyed the bones. But by the time that happened, the masked man fled, using the opportunity to get away. As we return back to the present time, that is the reason why he told Nagato they have to find a reason to not let Naruto Uzumaki find out about the extraction, because Konoha will send him, and the plan will be ruined. Yes, the masked man knew that Naruto was incredibly powerful, and that was 2 years ago. One could just imagine how much more powerful has he gotten. So with that out of the way, Deidara was able to stop all communication going out, as Stan and Baki were getting worried. As Konoha, they haven't received anything yet. But someone was passing by that era. It was none other than Kurama, in a vaguely human form, red eyes too, and whisker marks. It was the only way that Naruto could release him from his body without dying, as he placed Kurama in this human form. With his form though, he didn't have to be sensed. He could not be sensed by the Akatsuki members. It was still coated inside with Naruto cosmic energy, preventing anyone from sensing him. Well, that was unless he returned back to his original form, but he could shift between the two. But at least he wouldn't have to be a giant entity the fox, where people would be scared or even try to attack him because they were just too afraid to think that he was going to kill them. So he was pacing around as he passed by that era where he sensed Shikaku. As he saw the seals, he called Naruto, as the both of them had a mental link. As Naruto couldn't waste any time, as he left Konoha, as Rimuru went towards the office and informed Tsunade of what happened. As Naruto could speak through his mouth. As Naruto was talking to Tsunade as he made his way towards the sand, Tsunade was angry that he would just leave off like that and tell her after he left. But she indeed sent a team after him, as Temari went along with the team as well. As Naruto arrived, he removed the poison from Kankuro, as he told Baki that he would be right back, and with that he was gone. As Naruto made his way, Itachi and Kisame, well, at least a copy of them, tried to stop him, but they were sent back towards their part of extraction. As they opened their eyes, Nagato was surprised that he came back so quickly. Kisame had a grin on his face, as the nine-tailed Jinchuriki has gotten so much more powerful, as the battle was enticing him to fight him for real. As Naruto arrived, he didn't waste any time. He literally drove his hand into the mountainside, the large underground rock that was keeping the Akatsuki inside the cave, as Naruto ripped it out of the ground and threw it away as he yanked Gaara out of his spear and brought him down. The extraction was not finished, but they had enough of the Shikaku. They had the mind, the spirit. But a bit of chakra remained inside Gaara, as Naruto saw that Gaara coils were gonna burst at any moment, so Naruto fixed them as Gaara was sleeping calmly. He would wake up soon enough. His breathing had gone down, and his chest was breathing normally as Naruto sent him away with a clone. The battle then started between him, Sasuke, and Deidara. The two then realized why Naruto was called Kami, as he obliterated the entire air around them. He tear every single puppet that Sasuke brought out. Sasuke also got obliterated in a blast that Naruto formed, a quite condensed blast that seemed to just drive through the entire landscape, changing it, the platform. As Deidara was the only one left. The masked man appeared though, as he sucked Deidara away before Naruto could get to him, as Naruto was there the next second but he was gone, fleeing. It was then that the others arrived. Rimuru had transformed into a massive bird as he landed down, as Gaara had woken up. Temari was a bit angry at Naruto for just leaving like that, but she was happy that he saved her brother, as Naruto ended up kissing her. Much to Gaara's displeased. Well, it's not like he hated the relationship, it's just not in front of him. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. A loud crash could be heard as someone flew before they crash landed in the market district. Everyone started to panic until they saw who it was though. They started to get even more worried as they thought that he was fighting off against someone, and for someone to throw him like that. Calm down everyone, said Naruto as he raised a hand. It's alright, he said, as he pulled himself out of the crater that his body created. Everyone alright, he asked as he looked at them. The people around him nodded, some of the girls transfixed on his looks, as he was wearing that open shirt, showing off his well-toned six-pack and his pecs. He placed a hand on the ground and his ground refill itself, completely reforming like nothing had ever hit it. He then blurred out of sight as Naruto arrived at the broken window and stepped inside. You know, I did do a good thing, said Naruto, as Tsunade was standing there, looking quite pissed off, but at the same moment, not as pissed off as she should be. And that's the only reason why you're still standing here. You know, if it was anyone else, I would have had them placed into a holding cell for insubordination, leaving the village like that, without even coming to talk to me. Even other clan heads come to talk to me, and yet you feel that you can just leave anytime you want. But yes, you did save the Kazekage, and that's the only reason I barely punched you, she said. You call that barely punching me, said Naruto. Well, you can take it, said Tsunade. Well, you can't actually throw me in prison, right, said Naruto. I mean, I am a clan head. Tsunade snapped her eyes towards him. Keep on pushing your luck, she said. I might just have you restrained and tied up. As Naruto chuckled at that. Come on, you wouldn't do that to poor little me, you, he said. Little? You're not so little anymore, she said. She sat down. Seriously, brat, she said. You can't just go off on your own like that. What if that big? More than what you expected. They're still after you, you know? And you think, even if they find out that you no longer have the 9 tails inside of you, they're gonna let you live. You're too much of a threat right now. Your existence alone is causing unbalance in the world. You know that, right? Yeah, Pervisage told me about that, said Naruto as he got a bit serious. As he looked through the window, other nations are thinking about the fluctuation in power. Just like what happened to your clan back then, she said. As her tone was serious as she looked towards him. They feared the Uzumaki so much. Despite the Uzumaki's never in taken in battle, they went there themselves to wipe them out. And they think, you being a Uzumaki and restarting your clan, you're plotting against them. The Hidden Stone is the one most on edge right now. Given our relationship with the Raikage, the man is not worried, even though things are unsure in this world. And not to mention what you did at the valley. You completely rearranged the landscape. That is just gonna make people even more worried. Rumors are about to fly around when any sand ninjas come across that gaping place. After all, you did save their Kazekage. They think that they're praising you to worship her name, but they're just gonna be causing you more harm, she said. As Naruto stood there as he looked over the village. He turned towards her as he had a small smile on his face. You have nothing to worry about, Bachan, he said. I doubt the Hidden Stone would try anything stupid. After all, their recent attempts on Konoha, they lost so much. They still haven't showed their face that much. Even on my training trip, there hasn't been one Hidden Stone ninja that attacked me. But I'm certain to say Tsunade that they're the one that did this, as she threw the book towards him as he caught it. As Naruto opened the book, it was a bingo book. The purse that won his head was unknown because they did not put anything there. After all, who would risk writing your name there or the village name? For the head of Naruto Uzumaki, a man that was known as Kami. As Naruto looked towards where it said his rank, I'm kind of liking the question mark, he said that smirk. Tsunade sigh. He didn't know how serious this was. No, he did. He did, of course, but he was acting like it did not matter. As Naruto looked towards her, kidding her on the side, he said, I'm surprised they didn't rank me. I'm surprised by that as well, she said. I figured they would put you as S rank, given the fact that you were able to stop 2 of their bijous. But it seems that they're unsure. Perhaps when they update the bingo book again, you will see a ranking there. But look at your amount, she said. Huh. I even passed Asuma, said Naruto. Asuma Sarutobi bounty was worth 35 million Ryu. And yet, Naruto was worth 50 million dead and 100 alive. To get him alive, get him captured, the people wanted to test his body to see how he can do these amazing things. But alive, he was worth 100 million Ryu. That was quite a hefty sum. Well, as you can see, minor villages would not spend that amount of money, even if it's worth taking someone they hate down. That would tremble their village pockets. So as you can see, this means that is a major village behind this, said Naruto. And your best guess is the Hidden Stone. But they refuse to show their name, said Naruto, as he sat down on the couch beside Tsunade. Yeah, she said as she looked towards him. Now you know. So you can't just go off doing things reckless like this. Naruto raised his hand, even though you did save the Kazekage. Something everyone is grateful for. But still, as Naruto nodded, meanwhile that was going on at the Hidden Rain. You saved Deidara, said Nagato. Speaking to the path of Tendo, he is still needed, said the masked man. With his aerial pursuit, we can still use him. I have no complaints here, said Nagato. It seems like you are right. Uzumaki Naruto is stronger than I thought. As the man's words show no waver in his confidence, he still believed that he can defeat Naruto without even trying, because of his eyes though. He believed he was that strong. Seems like power has really gotten to Nagato's head. But Tobi was thinking otherwise. Things were looking more and more dangerous as time went on. For one to completely obscure the landscape. And yet you act like everything is okay. I must say, Nagato, I am truly impressed at your statement of calling yourself a god. It is not a statement, it is mere facts, said Nagato. As strong as he might be, he will lose when time comes. The Akatsuki will still gather the tail pieces. This is not a setback. Most of the Ichibai will seal away inside the Gedo statue. Despite the Kazekage being dead, things has already been concluded with the One Tails. We do not need anything else from him. So it's best if we just leave him be. With that out of the way, the other tail beasts will be gathered, and they will be extracted. Kakazo and Hidan are making their way towards Kumo as we speak. Itachi and Kisame are on the prowl. It seems like it's time for you to fully show your face in the Akatsuki. Deidara is gonna need a partner. Well, perhaps it's time, the masked man said. For now, let's leave it at that, shall we? With that, he sucked himself away in a swirling vortex as he was gone. Konan, what is the matter with you? Asked Nagato. The path turning towards her. Konan looked toward the face as she looked up, as she was so deep in thought. She saw an image of Yaiko, without the piercings, a Yaiko that smiled at her, a Yaiko that was there with her on that night, in the pouring rain, with a happy smile on his face, a Yaiko that she missed so much. Not this Yaiko who was being controlled by her friend. Her friend that was going deeper and deeper into the darkness. Changing the ways of the Akatsuki. Changing what Yaiko had built. Changing what Yaiko had started. Into something different. Konan, he said. As the woman was snapped from her thoughts. I apologize, she said. I was merely thinking. You were never one to be so quiet around me. What is going on? He asked her. Oh, it's nothing important, she said. I assure you, everything is fine. As she started to walk away, Konan, she paused. I do not want to doubt you, he said. That was all he said to her. As Konan kept on walking, he was making his intentions clear. He didn't want to doubt her. He didn't want her to start thinking things that might mess with his plan, because he was all about peace. But the situation lately has been really changing Konan's point of view. Time skip. It was not very easy to leave the Hinrin. Not very easy to leave without Nagato questioning her. But sometime Nagato had to rest. She used the opportunity to leave the village, leaving a clone or two around, just to make sure. Konan found herself towards the barren landscape. A few years ago it was absolutely nothing. Nothing but ruins and destruction. There were homes, but the homes were broken down and destroyed. She was wearing her Akatsuki clothing, as her papers had just folded on her body to create a black cloak around her, with a simple illusion, as the people around her nothing but civilians, as she was in a village. The village that simply sprung up over a week. Tall buildings, houses, smiles on the people's faces. This place was poor. People here was always saddened, but now they were happy. Because of one man, as she made her way through the village. Excuse me, a voice said, as she paused. An apple for the pretty lady. As the man was holding out the apple to her, he seemed to be in his early 50s. He had a smile on his face. I do not know why you're sad, but someone like you should never be this sad, he said, as he gave her the apple. Konan took it. Thank you, she said. As the man nodded, you're welcome, he said. My pleasure. Have a wonderful day. Konan nodded as she moved forward, looking towards the apple in her hand. This didn't seem like the elemental nation. As kids passed by, one of them almost bumped into her, but she moved out of the way. He paused as he bowed his head. I'm sorry about that, miss, he said. It's quite alright, she said. Thank you, as he ran off. As Konan walked around, she saw posters on the wall. There he was. His blonde hair running down to his shoulders. His pristine, purple blue eyes, with a smile on his face, and there was a lot of them around him, draping their arms over his shoulder as they were all smiling. The people here worship him like some god, like a deity. They respected him, they love him here. A whole village where the people loved him. These people knew what hardship was, but yet it was changed by that one man, and now they all loved him. As Konan made her way through the village, it was then that she felt someone watching her, so she walked down the alleyway. As she came to a stop, someone flashed right in front of her. It was a normal man, it seems. Brown hair, dark eyes, as he was wearing a normal set of clothing, dark pants and a brown shirt, with a vest over it, black sandals. How may I help you, she said, as she looked at the man, wondering what did he want. I know that you're using genjutsu to try and hide your real appearance. That cloak of yours, he said. She narrowed her eyes at the man. My name is Yamato Fuma, he said. I'm a part of the Fuma clan. In such, I know the basics. So, I must ask, are you here to cause trouble? And why would you think that, she asks? Ninjas, really, don't pass through these areas, especially under a small disguise like yours. So I'm just curious. And what if I was, she said. I advise you that you don't. These people has already seen enough. I don't know how strong you are, but I'm being modest, I'm not that strong myself. The Fuma clan is merely made up of a couple of people that remain after the last excursion, he said. That is why I ask that you do not cause any trouble. The people here have suffered enough. And they're just gaining back everything, their hope, their spirit, after Kami helped them. This Kami you speak of. Why do they respect him so much? Is it because he gave them things? No. He stayed here for months. Kami. The people started calling him by his name. A name that seemed fitting to him. He stayed here trying to feel how they felt, so he can get a better understanding. To try and show us, everyone, that they were not alone in this world. To show them that there were people that cared. And little by little, everyone started to open up. He saved us. But not just us, many other smaller villages around the elemental nation. As the man had a smile on his face. A good one that boy is. Someone this world hasn't seen in a long while. Someone who perhaps can end this wretched cycle of war. I'm not here to cause trouble, said Konan. As paper wings came from her back. Thank you for the information. With that she flew off, as Konan was gone. So, it was as she thought. It wasn't because he just gave them things. It was because he spent his time understanding them. Making them believe that he was the one. That he would be the one to help them all. This Naruto Uzumaki is doing more for the world than any of them thought they could. Nagato wanted to bring peace by war. But yet Naruto Uzumaki was doing that, little by little, without war. Konan didn't know what to think, or what to say on that matter. But she went towards the other villages nearby, the ones that he helped. She wanted to know. She wanted to know everything. Time skip. A scream could be heard of frustration coming from the main house of the Uzumaki compound. As Haku walked into the room, a gentle giggle came from her lips. It's not funny, said Naruto, as he was in one of the corner rooms, an office of sorts. With his table there, paintings on the wall, and in front of him a desk, a rather large desk. As he was leaned back in his chair, there was paperwork on his table, a lot of it. I never knew that completely. Being the head of your clan will have to go through so much paperwork, said Naruto, as he rubbed his forehead. At first, I just had to sign a few documents here and there, and sign you guys' names up when you came along. But now, god damn it, said Naruto. Did you have to do this while I was out of the village, he asked. If you did, I'm so terribly sorry, said Naruto. Well, not really, she said. I had to attend a few council meetings. To solidify yourself as the clan head, I had to be there as a keeper, a watcher of sorts, she said. Seeing that you appoint me as a second in command, I had to be there to sign a few things though. Some of them were really complicated, but Hokage was there for me the entire time, she said. But this is the entire clan work. Things that you had to fill out. Things that you had to contribute to, she said. Around the village. Things that are going on, the smaller details. Yeah, said Naruto as he sighed. I never knew it was that taxing, he said. Yushin Shai going to do this would just bring on a mental strain. To go through all these paperwork, as the information was just packed on his head. So he preferred go through all of them himself. And besides, he didn't have anything much to do, so he kinda just lay back and did it. Haku came over. Perhaps I can help, she said. And how, before he could finish, she planted her lips on his. As she separated herself. Better? Get in there, said Naruto as she kissed him again. Better? Almost, said Naruto as she kissed him again. I think I feel a little bit better, said Naruto as she smiled. She picked up a chair and brought it over. Let me help you out, she said. You know, you're just so sweet, said Naruto. But I got this, don't worry. Go ahead and have fun with the other girls. I can't just leave you here alone, she said. It's no problem, said Naruto. I've been out there in the world for 3 years. Roaming around. Training, getting stronger. You've been here not really experiencing much. I'm helping with my clan and everything. It's your time to shine, said Naruto as he smiled. Come on, I insist, he said. As he smiled at her. A smile that just made her heart flutter. Alright, fine, she said. If you need anything. As Naruto nodded. I won't hesitate, he said. With that, she left, as she blew a kiss towards him before she left though. As Naruto caught it and kissed it back. He then went over the paperwork in front of him. As Naruto started to go through piles and piles of paper, But there was something that he was not seeing though. Something that confused him as he wondered, why was the village funding being trimmed away like this? There was barely enough being sent to the orphanage, not to mention the homes in the village. For the younger teens that didn't have a home or parents, that were too old to stay in the orphanage, the group homes. Most of the money was being used by the civilian council to fund academy school projects. What the hell? As he thought about it now, why the hell did the academy need a flower trimming class that made absolutely no sense? And some strange things that didn't make sense at all were on the paper. As Naruto sighed, growing up and not knowing who his parents were, and just having a third tell him things. Growing up with the orphans, there was a lot of things that he didn't imagine that would happen when he get older, but yet it did. It is time that he repay those strengths in his village. There was a lot of people that needed help, and he was gonna help them. Time skip. 3 days later, as Naruto was in the council room, this was his second council meeting. As Tsunade walked in, the counselors quieting down. As he was the youngest here, something that he kind of was happy for. After all, his show great maturity that he could run his clan at this young age. Something that many thought that he would fail at, but yet they were performing incredible at it. As every clan had a thing that they had for the village. Something that stained their foundation in the village. Many clans had more than one. The Uzumaki clan recently just gained their clan head. It was time for them to start their presentation. As Naruto was sitting there, it wasn't anything too hectic. It was just the clan heads. They didn't bring any of their protégés that were to take over after they passed on. So this was just normal. Well, it's Natty. Now that I'm here, we can get down to this. Uzumaki-san, she said as she turned towards Naruto, addressing him by his proper title. I believe you have something to show them all, said Tsunade with a smile on her face. Well, said Naruto, the Uzumaki clan was always proud of their Fuinjutsu back in the past. And I believe, why cancel that tradition? Over the years, I've been practicing Fuinjutsu with Jiren, and it seems I'm a natural at it, said Naruto. Something that he never expected to pick up. Well, he started when he was younger, but he kind of forgot about it once he grew and he started to focus more on his in-depth power. But as he went on his training trip, he started to advance. Jiren might be known as a seal master for the elemental nation, but when it comes to it, Naruto was better than him. At sealing, of course. Drawn in the blood, he guessed. But the main person that was booming was Karen. Something special that had to do with her body that no one knew about, after all. Clan secret. The Uzumakis have invented a special type of seal that would change everything for ninjas out in the field, said Naruto. As he pulled out a sealing tag, as he went silent, waiting for them to ask. Heishi took the question on head. And what exactly is that? Glad you asked, Heishi-san, said Naruto with a smile. You see, this world is full of many unpredictability acts. Things that many people would never see coming at all. So why not be prepared, said Naruto. This seal here, a special function that was created by the Uzumaki clan, as Naruto was not gonna name out Karen. For all these years, the girl was still subconsciously afraid of making people know about her ability. She went through a tough life, of course, being beaten all over because of what she could do. She didn't have a problem with helping people. As long as people didn't find out about her ability, even though she knew that she would be safe, she just didn't like it. And Naruto would never push her to do anything that she didn't like. Being on the field, as I said, unexpected things can happen. Getting wounded in battle. Some wounds are even harder to fix, even for a skilled medic, said Naruto. But this seal here will be the solution. A seal that can stabilize the body. A seal that would force the yin and yang engines to have someone to rapidly increase in their regeneration system. Applied to a person once wounded, as long as it's not a fatal wound. Even without a medic, the person should be able to be brought back to the village without suffering any long-term effect or dying in the field. When a medic is close by, the person should be on their feet in a couple of minutes. That's impossible. As Tatsumi looked towards Naruto, gaping. You're telling me that you found a way to make our ninjas not die out there in the field? And what kind of wounds are we talking about? A sword stabbed through the chest, she asked, as Naruto nodded. A slash to the throat. That is not completely fatal, she asked. People have lived without being able to talk, said Naruto. As Tatsumi looked at the others. Well, this is certainly something, said Shikaku. I never thought anyone would ever create something like this. Yes, indeed, a tool that will help more people than one out there survive, said Hayashi, especially with our Lady Hokage restarting our medical program teaching. These two together would be quite beneficial. Well, said Tsunade, I am sure that Naruto has shown that the Uzumaki clan has more than enough grounds to stand that they can have something that would benefit Konoha, because this will revolutionize everything, she said. As the others nodded in agreement, this was just truly amazing. Well, that is if the test proves fruitful, most of them thought to himself. But given the Hokage reaction, seems like it would. As Danzo narrowed his eyes. Time skip. Danzo was angry. Things were not going as he expected. Things were not happening as he planned. His movements lately had been slow on anything. His scheme to take over the Hokage's position was getting past him because he was getting old. Someone like him could not rule forever, and that old hag won't give up the seat. Well, he's not in the room to say that, but still. It's his man, he could say what he wanted. The man was just pissed off. Naruto Uzumaki was doing so much. The Hokage was viteful than ever, pushing forward with their position. Things were changing for the village. Recently, they have Scrop, the flowering class of the academy, something that he was grateful though, as that was there for so long and it didn't make absolutely no sense. These damn civilian council members, he didn't care for them much. Tsunade had put her foot down though. That was the thing that he was worried about. She has been getting rather demanding lately, rather forceful. He knew that if he slipped up and if he get caught, things would be dangerous. She would send that boy to deal with him if anyone else could not. Yes, that boy was like her own little weapon, and that was only because he cared for her. As Danzo saw it, no one could put a leash on Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, no one. He was too strong. And the only reason why he acted that way was because he was nice. If he were to ever turn against Konoha, things would be catastrophic. Luckily he wasn't grown badly. Lucky he was raised right. But still, his mind could be corrupted, could it not? Danzo only saw it as him being in charge. He wanted to be the one to call the shots. Naruto Uzumaki should be under his command. No other way was possible. He wanted to be in charge. He needed to be in charge. He was the only one that understood what was right for Konoha. No one else. And with the power that Naruto possessed, they could quickly control the elemental nations, bend everything towards their will. Everyone would bow down to them. It's just a matter of time, he thought to himself. He had to do something before the situation slipped too far that he couldn't even control anymore. Time skip. As Naruto had a blank face. Do you not like catching up with your old teammates again? Said Hinata with a smile. You don't care about us again, she asked. You know I always love you, my little sister, said Naruto as he ruffled her hair. Hinata pouted as she slapped away his hand. She's too old for him to do that now. But I'm just wondering, why do you guys keep on inviting me on your dates? Sasuke and Hinata turned red. As Sasuke's face was red for a second before it turned back normal. What? Look, I'm not gonna do this, said Naruto. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, okay? It's really fun. But you're not gonna get in time alone together. And I doubt that you would go by the Hyuga component if you're not sure, said Naruto as he looked towards Sasuke. What are you talking about, Naruto-kun? Said Hinata. With a small blush on her face, she looked away. As Naruto sighed. Alright, fine. You know what? I'm just gonna say this. The both of you like each other. So I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. Isn't it kind of painful to watch each other, knowing that you want to say what's in the deepest part of your heart, but yet you're afraid? Sasuke, I know you're not that much outgoing. What? Just be quiet, said Naruto. Hinata, You changed from being a shy girl back then. But it's still kind of nerve-wracking to do certain things, I know. But you guys really gotta stop inviting me on your dates. I hate being a third wheel. This is not a date, Sasuke said. Hinata looked towards him as she looked away. Is it? He asked. She paused. Did he just say that? I don't know, she said. See ya, said Naruto as he vanished. He just disappeared, leaving the both of them in awkward silence as Sasuke looked down. It seemed that the ground was more important than anything else. Hinata was looking over to the side. Why did he just have to leave like that? As Naruto teleported back in. Oh, forgot this, he said, as he picked up a cinnamon bun before vanishing once again. As he looked back down. Sasuke, said Hinata. Yeah, he said, looking up. Is he right? She sighed. Of course he's right, she thought to herself. It's weird, isn't it, she said. Yeah, he said, looking at the ground. As he took a breath, as his face got serious. I don't know what it is or when it happened, but I feel strange around you. Different kind of strange than I normally feel around the other girls. Something I don't really understand. Yeah, me too, she said. But I think I have a close idea what it is. We like each other, she said. So, what are we supposed to do? Sasuke asked, as he seemed confused as her. Well, they weren't confused, but the part of their mind that was trying to rationalize things weren't here at the moment. We're both grown people, she said. Her words not even making much sense as she was babbling too much. She took a deeper breath. She never had to do this before, ever. Neither has Sasuke. Well, he certainly just blew people off, but he never actually said that he actually liked someone before. So it was weird. You won't just enjoy this date and see where things go, she asked. Meanwhile, Naruto made his way towards the bad part of Konoha. As he arrived there was some renovations going on. Buildings were being rebuilt. Many builders were there. It seems that they haven't arrived yet, as Tazuna and Inari were supposed to come, but they were not here yet. As Naruto saw, there was less people in the streets, and the ones that were there, some people were talking to them and guiding them somewhere. As the new homes were being built, a lot of them around, refurnished. It's you, a voice said as he paused. As a woman turned towards him, she was in her early 20s. You're Naruto Uzumaki, she said. Yeah, said Naruto. My mom told me about you. She's the third in command who's helping things here. You're the one that funded this all. Shh, said Naruto. You don't want anyone to know? As he shook his head. I'm not doing this all for the praise, said Naruto. Just want to see these people off the streets. And happy, he said. You know, I heard that you were a kind man, but this wasn't what I was expecting. You're just incredible, she said. Thanks, said Naruto. But can you not tell anyone what's going on here? As people in Konoha was already chasing after him to talk to him and that, so if this goes out, it will just get more intense. Not that he didn't love the appreciation, but still, he didn't do it for that. He do it to make the people happy. After all, if he had these amazing powers and gifts, why couldn't he share them? The woman bowed as she closed her mouth and nodded before heading off. She would keep her mouth shut about it, as her mother had told her not to go around tell anyone because he didn't want it to be well known. Her mother had break rules and told her, but Naruto wasn't so serious about them. So she had told her daughter. As her mother was in charge, well, almost. There was 5 of them, people that just love giving back. Time skip. Where did he went? Oh, he didn't have much time, fool. Sorry, said Karen. He had to assist Sasuke Uchiha on a mission. Really? I thought that Sasuke was strong, said Fu. Why would he need Naruto to go with him? Well, seems like it's something a bit dangerous, said Karen. But don't worry, you know Naruto, he can handle it. Oh, I'm not. Naruto is strong. I've seen it firsthand, said Fu, as she smiled. I just missed him, she said. Well, when he gets back, you can tell him how much you miss him. Yeah, we're gonna have sex, Fu said. Karen coughed. Wait, what? Fu, you knew what you're saying, right? Yep. Teiwai said that she did it with him, and it was the most best moment of her life. She told me everything. Wait, everything? Yes, down to the finer detail. And I can't wait. Me and Naruto have kissed before, but we never went that far. I didn't know how because I haven't done anything like that before. He was just so nice and told me that he wouldn't do anything I'm not ready for. And now I'm ready, she said, with a smile on her face. Fu, while it's not my place to tell you whether you can be ready or not, but are you sure? Yeah, said Fu. I do love him after all. If I can't give him everything, what's the point? I know what you mean, said Karen. There's just something about him that just... So why haven't you talked to him about anything about that yet? Asked Fu. Well, I haven't got the chance. I've been working with the analytic department recently, and things have been rather hectic. So, I haven't got much time to spend with him. But still, he comes by every single day and makes sure I eat lunch. And if I haven't, he goes out and buys it for me. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better guy, she said to Fu. Yeah. Naruto is the best, said Fu. Meanwhile, at Hot Springs, as Ino's face was red like she was about to burst. As the others there were listening as well. As Ino gulped, the water seemed to be a bit steamy than usual. As Teiwai just finished chilling her tail, she had a smirk on her face, a smirk of delight. And it was amazing, Teiwai said. The best. It was just, I can't fully grasp or even tell you guys. You just have to see for yourself. Well, I guess you guys won't, she said, looking at Ino and towards Sakura as well. But you know what I mean, right? As she looked towards Temari that was there. Wait, you too, Temari? Said Sakura. What do you mean, forehead? I mean, that is needed for them to rebuild the Uzumaki clan. I guess they're doing it all day and all night. Well, not really, said Teiwaya. We're a part of a new clan. New clan have a lot of responsibility. Those things are mostly hectic. Right now he's on a mission with Sasuke. Speaking of Sasuke, said Ino. What about Sasuke? Said Temari, as she still wouldn't tell them what happened on the day that Naruto came to the sand to meet her. I heard that he's been seen a lot with Hinata lately. Is that true, forehead? Yeah, said Sakura. I don't know what's been going on there. Hinata wasn't here as she was currently having a meeting with her clan. Something important, it seems. As they didn't know. I'm sure it's not anything out of the way. I mean, Hinata got both Naruto and Sasuke in one team, and she's never been with either of them, so I guess it's just something friendly. If you say so, said Temari. Wait, what does that mean, asked Sakura. Oh, nothing really, said Temari. But there was mirth in her voice. Just wait until they find out. As she wouldn't tell him a thing. Things that she saw. As she stretched her muscles and relaxed into the water. Things have been nice lately. Her brother had been brought back safe. And not to mention the time that her and Naruto spent the hidden sand. That night was just amazing. As she wondered if he was okay out on the mission. Meanwhile, Sasuke was surrounded by 5 C-rank ninjas. 5 of them who were heavily wounded. Sasuke had a scar in his right arm from a blade slicing him. But other than that, he was completely fine. His 3-totem Sharingan activated on full view. As the ninjas were cowering away from him. They didn't expect him to be this strong. They heard that Konoha ninjas were coming to try and stop them. But they didn't expect this at all. Not to mention the other one over there. Their leader. The leader of this little ragtag group. A-rank ninja known as Reiga, with the Kiba blades. Blades that were electrified, a source of lightning itself. Powerful blades that were from Kiri. He was another 7 ninja swordsman that had left the village, just like Zabuza, became a missing nin. Reiga was holding twin Kiba blades in his hand as they were cackling with lightning. The man was panting and sweating hard. He had dark hair that looked almost greenish, wearing an upper tape body and a black vest over that. As the man glared at Naruto, he had a large object on his back. Inside there was a boy though. A boy named Ranmaru. As he possessed a unique Keiki Genkai that granted him abilities similarly to the Byakugan, as he had taken him from Kiri. As the relationship reminded Naruto much of Haku and Zabuza, Rimuru, was a lot like Haku, as he cared a lot for Riga. And the man didn't want Riga to get hurt, but Riga was doing too much. He's been unnoticed lately, but recently, he has been pushing his luck, as he's been going around smaller villages, taking over their system, and claiming himself as a new Kami. Almost like he was mocking Naruto. If Naruto could do it, he could do it as well. But Naruto did not force his will on people, but Riga was. And when they refused to listen, he gave them a funeral. Yes, he buried them in the ground, alive, just to watch them suffer. And if they managed to emerge, he buried them once again. A rather cruel way to go, suffocate underground without air. But that was Riga's thing. Enough, said Naruto. You're wanted back at Kiri, he said. As he was wanted back alive, if the people could. And that boy, he doesn't deserve this life that you're putting him through. Shut up! You know nothing, Riga said. Huh, Kami. To think people actually think of you as a god. But there's no way you're gonna take me back or even touch Ranmaru. So I suggest death, as he pointed both blades at Naruto. A massive arc of lightning shot towards Naruto, who simply raised his palm that glowed purple. The lightning turned into feathers that blew in the wind. As Naruto looked behind him as he saw the last body drop. Well, that's enough for that, he said. The ground cracked under Riga as purple chains emerged. The man leaped before they came at him though, as everything was being told to him by Ranmaru. As the boy could see it all with his eyes that were similar to the Byakugan, he had the same visual prowess he could see under the earth. As Riga twists and dodged, hearing all the information from Ranmaru, as he landed on the ground. But, to his surprise, what the hell? Ranmaru, what's going on? As Ranmaru winced a bit as he could not understand. He was seeing himself in 4 different places. As Riga moved, but he slammed face first into a wall. A wall? As he turned and twists. As Naruto came towards him and held up his hand, like he was about to perform a hand sign, Riga jumped back, only to slam his head in the wall. As he fell down, he looked up as Naruto was in front of him. With a swift chop to the back of the neck, he was out, like a light. There wasn't a wall there, but an invisible dome that he could not see. As the dome broke apart as Naruto fully exited, Ranmaru only saw his reflection because his eyes kept on reflecting back on the dome, as he could not see through it. As Naruto made sure of that, as Naruto took the container off the man's back with a small child inside. As Ranmaru jumped out and tried to punch Naruto, but Naruto caught his small fist. No, I won't let you hurt him. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt him, said Naruto. I'm just bringing him back. And I'm also bringing you back as well. Kiri has changed over the decades. Things are no longer the same. They're gonna kill him, he said. As little boy looked down sad, knowing that he couldn't fight Naruto. As he's heard of Kami, and he heard that he was incredibly powerful. Please, you're Kami, right? Do something. Don't let him die. As Naruto placed a hand on his head. Look, I know the Kazekage. I'll talk to her and see what I can do, okay? Really? You'll do that? Yeah, said Naruto. Is it done? Sasuke says he walked over. Yeah, said Naruto. But we're gonna take a quick trip to Kiri first. Kiri, said Sasuke, as he looked towards Naruto with a stern look. Don't worry, said Naruto. I have a couple of friends there. Time skip. The villages that was under Riga's control was now free. People instantly recognized Naruto, despite Sasuke taking down most of the ninjas because he took on all the C-level rank ninjas, while Naruto took on Riga. People thought that Naruto did all the work. It was just because. And everyone started to call him Kami. As the chants went on, making Sasuke a bit pissed. But yet he was not angry. He was just feeling a bit of rivalry. But Sasuke was indeed pissed when Naruto decided to fly them towards Kiri, because Naruto had to hold him by his arms like he was a baby. Something he did not like. Unknown to Sasuke, Naruto could create something for him to fly on. But he just wanted to piss Sasuke off a bit and watch him whine like a little child. As they arrived, the group, Naruto was making his way towards a large tower. Ninjas at his left and at his right. Both him and Sasuke was in the middle. His Riga and his little apprentice had been taken away, as they were being brought straight towards the Mitsukage's tower. Sasuke was amazed as he'd never been to Kiri before. The place was truly beautiful. He heard that recently a civil war ended, about 3 years ago to be exact, just a couple months after Naruto left Konoha, as he wondered if the blonde had anything to do with it. Now that he thought about it, he watched as people were murmuring around. He wondered if it was because of Naruto being known as Kami, or was because he was here before. As Sasuke said nothing though. As they were brought towards the tower, they were stopped at the entrance. Naruto, a voice said. As Naruto turned, Kojiro, he said, as a blue-haired teen with spiky teeth like sharks came up to them, as he was wearing glasses. Long time no see, said Kojiro. Yes, it has been a long time, hasn't it, said Naruto. Yeah, 3 years, Kojiro said, and I heard the last time you came by I wasn't here, so I didn't got to see you. Yeah, that's true, said Naruto. Did you came here to talk to the leader of the village? Or did you came here to chatter? In my days, people went straight towards your head meeting instead of talking with friends. Good to see you too, Ayo, said Naruto, as he looked towards the man. I see you have grown, said Ayo as he looked over Naruto. A lot indeed. And who's this? Ayo asked. Oh, this is my friend, Sasuke Uchiha, said Naruto. Protege of mine. What? Said Sasuke. Not your protege, he said. He just liked to get a bit tense. That's just how my little student reacts whenever you call him my student, said Naruto. Sasuke eyebrow twitched at that. I'm not your student, he said. Come on. No need to be shy, said Naruto. So can we go in? Yes, she has been waiting for you. As Naruto stepped inside the tower, followed by Sasuke, you know, brooding all the time would not help you anywhere, said Naruto. Or perhaps you want me to ask you about how Hinata is doing. I mean, how did things go? We don't have time for talking. We're about to meet Akatsuki, said Sasuke. Akatsuki, you haven't told me that you've met him before. Or the village, have you? Well, it wasn't really important back then, said Naruto. But I guess it's about time right now. I mean, Kiri has developed. So it's about time. Time for what Sasuke asked as he entered the office. Sasuke blinked as he saw the woman standing there, as he was surprised. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part, so do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications to stay posted. But I'm off for now, see you guys soon. Peace.